TV. This is Friday Night with Lillian Mooney.
Good evening, and on this Friday night, heavy rains continue to cause widespread flooding in several parts of Nairobi and across Kenya, leaving roads submerged, homes destroyed, and thousands of residents displaced. We're going to be showing you pictures of the ongoing downpours that have rendered some roads impassable and disrupted transport and daily activities in the capital and surrounding areas. Emmanuel, let's take a look at what's happening.
Yes, there is severe flooding all over. It was a nightmare getting here to Dennis Pitt Road.
Right.
So yeah, please stay safe out there. Don't take any unnecessary risks. And if you don't have to go on the roads, then I'd say definitely don't. But yeah, we see some of the treacherous conditions here. Right,
and this is what a lot of you, these are the reactions that we're seeing on social media, on X. We're seeing pictures that looks like Westlands, parts of the Nairobi CBD as well, and a lot of you commenting on the actual situation where you're at. Somebody saying CBD Nairobi residents risk their lives in floods while the system meant to protect them acts as if nothing is happening. You can see Boda riders there. That looks like a minibus that is literally merged in the water. Looks like a lot of the breeze as well. Things actually not really going right now.
You can see chest height, water chest height on the main road there. So that is very treacherous conditions, and the rain is still ongoing. So it's still flooding it down.
And heavy traffic snarl up even right here outside the communication center on of the city as well. Authorities say the floods have been triggered by persistent heavy downpours, and of course the drainage system also a problem in the country as well. We'll be getting more reactions, but please stay safe wherever you are. The Met Department had reported the country would be experiencing heavy rains in the next 24 hours, so please do stay safe wherever you are. For now, let's take a look at stories making headlines tonight. It's a frenzy. State House budget nearly doubled as officials attribute the spike to new state lodges, salary increments, and expanded government operations. Win for free speech. Court of Appeal strikes down 2 provisions of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act as unconstitutional.
A year ago, I was convinced I wasn't good at anything. All I did was scroll endlessly through my feed, not even hoping for things to change. But one day, I came across an employment program for a
losses, hundreds stranded, others forced from their homes as heavy rains trigger flooding in several parts of the country.
Ulikuwa mume wangu, rafiki yangu na faraja yangu. Upendo wako utaendelea kuishi ndani yetu milele.
He was our provider, our protector, and our great
Last respects. Thousands of mourners to Emurua Dikir MP Joanna Ngeno and 4 other victims of the Nash. We start the bulletin this evening with an update on ongoing heavy rains in Nairobi and the flooding they are causing. We continue to receive updates from various areas of Nairobi where there is flooding from Nairobi West, South C, South B, and along Uhuru Highway. Homes are submerged in some areas, with power outages reported in areas such as Nairobi West, with the rain still ongoing and the surge of rainwaters also felt in the Kilimani area, the city center, and many areas of the capital. And those pictures on your screens are what we are getting as of this hour.
Zimezama maji, and of course now we just have to help each other. As you can see, this is a lady.
Kaja Nairobi. Wow. Twende. Ngoja iende. Ngoja gari iende. Pole. Hadi wapi? Hadi huku ni wapi? Na wewe ni nani?
And this is the current situation in the Nairobi CBD. You can hear people that are trying to get home, Kenyans that are trying to get home past 8 p.m. It is now exactly 4 minutes past 9, calling out on the Nairobi County government and asking how really this can be the situation in the Nairobi we live in. And this is not unique to Nairobi. Other parts of the country experiencing the same chaos, the floods, of course, triggered by heavy rainfall, which has overwhelmed drainage systems and caused rivers and stormwater channels to overflow. But this is not new to the country as regards heavy rains. Every time it rains, the script is almost the same from our newsrooms. And therefore, a lot of Kenyans, they are caught up in desperate situations, trying to get home, knowing very well that water can be very dangerous. And yet, this is the situation they find themselves in once again. Heavy traffic experienced in parts of Nairobi and beyond. A lot of rivers also having burst their banks, we understand, outside of the capital. And that is the situation. We'll continue to update you on what is happening. Heavy transport as well. Chaos with minibuses, transport crisis, a lot of people unable to get home, public transport systems paralyzed, the roads really flooded as well, as you can see from the pictures there. You can actually see people holding each other's hands as they try to cross in some pictures that we showed you earlier. And this is the situation that has been occasioned by a broader pattern of extreme weather events that have affected many parts of the country. Again, just a reminder that this is not unique to this year. This has also been experienced in recent years and in previous disasters. Heavy rains and floods have killed hundreds of people, displaced hundreds of thousands across Kenya, highlighting the increasing vulnerability of communities every time it rains in the country. This is the situation in Kenya right now. The pictures on your screens are of Nairobi CBD. And business owners are counting millions in losses as floods sweep away property and block roads after heavy rains caused the river Migori to burst its banks. Thousands of people heading to the funeral of the late Emurua Dikir MP Joanna Ngeno were stranded in Narok due to floods. In Nairobi County, as earlier mentioned, floods have affected thousands and forced the closure of parts of Karura Forest. More than 800 vehicles and hundreds of passengers are stuck in Morpus, West Pokot, on the Kitale-Lodwar Road. Let's hear more from Willie Lusige.
Let me brief you. So this is my car. As you can see, it's totally flooded. Maji imefika kwa mlango.
Heavy rainfall caused widespread flooding in Migori County, leading to transport and business along River Migori being disrupted after the river burst its banks. Several supermarkets within the town were affected as the raging flood water rose, submerging parts of the market area and surrounding roads. Business owners blame both the national and county governments for failing to prevent the recurring floods.
Stosi yangu ilikuwa ya beli 7 hivi. Na imeenda yote. Nimepata tu nguo mzuri kabisa, imeenda kabisa na maji.
In Narok County, Emurua Dikir constituency, thousands heading to the funeral of the late Member of Parliament Joanna Ngeno were blocked at Angaset Bridge after water stopped the bridge.
Maji imetuzuia. Makari mingi yamesimama hapa. Watu wameshangaa tu, hawajafika huku na wameshika safari kutoka mbali sana.
Residents who missed the funeral are calling for urgent road improvements.
Tunaomba serikali iangalie maslahi ya watu wa upande huu. Jinsi Mheshimiwa Ngong alikuwa anapigania haki za binadamu mahali hapa.
In West Pokot, thousands of passengers turned mopers into temporary shelter after being stranded for over 38 hours due to heavy rains. More than 800 vehicles were stranded. Passengers heading to load were facing hunger while waiting for transport to resume.
Nimekaa hapa kuanzia jana saa 9 wakati hii janga ilitokea, na mpaka saa hii barabara haijatengenezwa.
Passengers complained that the contractor who built the road constructed inadequate drainage channels that failed to divert flood waters.
Maji kama hii huwezi patia njia ndogo mpaka upanue njia kubwa ndio maji ipate njia ya kwenda.
In Bungoma County, Mount Elgon, dozens of families from Chesio, Kapkong and Kimama in Chesikaki fled their homes after flood destroyed property and killed livestock.
Ombe wakaaji wangu kwamba wahamie sehemu salama.
In Kiambu County, Gikambura, flood waters entered homes killing domestic animals. A quarry in Kamangu collapsed, causing cracks in nearby houses leading to the quarry to be closed. In Mukuru Kwarube, Nairobi, more than 500 families were displaced by floods, with the residents blaming the county government and its leadership.
Shida imetusumbua kutoka back 2024. Sisi tuchukua initiative, tukaenda kwa county government, tukaenda kwa ofisi ya governor, na governor mwenyewe akakuja mpaka hapa. Lakini ahadi alitupa tunasema ni ahadi gushi. Sababu walikuja akasema mtaro itatengenezwa, hii maji haitasumbua watu. Since that 2024 mpaka saa hii governor hajaonekana hapa.
Floods have also forced the closure of parts of Karura Forest. The Kenya Meteorological Department warns of heavy rainfall in Nairobi, Kiambu, Machakos and Kajiado over the next 24 hours. Residents are advised not to drive or walk through the flooded roads. Rains are expected to continue until 9th of March. Residents of areas that continue to witness perennial flooding are now calling on the government to be held accountable because they are saying they are now tired of the usual mantra that a solution is knocking. Willy Lusige, Citizen TV, Kwarube.
And as we keep updating you on the flood situation across the country, we invite your comments tonight. The hashtag is Friday Night at Citizen TV Kenya. We're asking you, how many more times must we report on devastating floods in Nairobi and other parts of the country while county governments remain in place to manage urban planning and drainage? What do you think should be done? Who is to blame? Tonight we ask whether county authorities are doing enough to fix drainage systems and, of course, fix the chaos that we're seeing across the country. SMS number 22422. The hashtag is Friday Night at Citizen TV Kenya. Away from the floods, State House will spend 17 billion shillings by the end of the current financial year, double the 8.5 billion shillings allocated at the beginning of the financial year. Amidst concern about State House increasing appetite for public funds, officials claim the amount allocated was too small. As Emmanuel Tour now reports, State House has requested for 20 billion shillings for the next financial year, starting the saying 4 new state lodges have contributed to the rise in expenditure.
As of July 1st, 2025, the State House budget, as approved by the National Assembly for the current financial year 2025-2026, stood at 8.58 billion shillings. The amount has since doubled. According to the estimates contained in the supplementary budget 1 of the current financial year, State House has been allocated an extra 8.43 billion shillings, pushing the total State House allocation by the end of the current financial year to 17 billion shillings. State House requested for the first installment of its additional budget in September 2025 after depleting its accounts for the entire year, just 3 months into the financial year. Parliamentary records show the amount was increased on account of salary review and enhanced operations and maintenance.
We have not actually even attain that what was our requirement, leave alone surpassing. Our requirement was 18 billion.
Some of the additional allocation was drawn under Article 223 of the Constitution, which allows the national government to spend money not authorized by an Appropriation Act if funds are insufficient and budgeted, or from the contingencies fund. The control of budget has over time raised a red flag over this method of withdrawals, saying it amounted to abuse of the law to fund items which did not meet the threshold of emergency funding.
You have an increment in state lodges now because previously we had 8. Now we have 4 new built by this administration. One in Bungoma, one in Homa Bay, another one in Kitui, and another one in Kwale. You will agree with me that they come with the cost. The supplementary budget is 240B. Out of the 240, State House is only getting 8. Why only focusing on the 8 and leave alone the 232 for other ministries?
State House is also projecting that it may need more funding in the financial year beginning July 1st.
We had projected that by the end of the financial year we will have spent 18, but by the end of this financial year we will have been allocated 16.4. Even in the coming financial year, our projection is 20, but we have just been given 11.
State House spent 12 billion shillings in the 2024-2025 financial year, 11.3 billion shillings in 2023-2024, and 9.1 billion shillings in the financial year 2022-2023. State House has also been on the receiving end, with a petitioner moving to court to stop President William Ruto from hosting political events there, which may have contributed to the ballooning of the budget. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The Court of Appeal has declared Section 22 and 23 of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act 2018 unconstitutional. Justices Patrick Kiage, Agri Muchalule, and Weldon Korir further warned that the judiciary must be alive and alert to the risk that the act can be deployed for political purposes, calling for careful scrutiny of every application before granting any order. Ayub Abdikadir reports.
A 3-judge bench of the Court of Appeal found Sections 22 and 23 of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act of 2018 unconstitutional, in the awarding ruling that they were too broad to the extent that they are likely to net innocent persons. Section 23 of the Act seeks to punish any person who publishes false or fictitious data or misinforms with the intention of passing off the data as authentic. It prescribes a maximum fine of 5 million Kenya shillings or a 2-year jail term. The section also seeks to limit Article 33 of on the freedom of expression, where there is intentional publication of false, misleading or fictitious information likely to propagate war, incite persons to violence, constitutes hate speech or advocates hate, while Section 23 of the Act deals with knowingly publishing information that is false in print. Broadcast data or over a computer system calculated to or resulting in panic, chaos or violence among citizens, and attract a 5 million Kenya shillings fine or a maximum of 10 years in jail or both. The High Court in 2020, 2 years after President Uhuru Kenyatta signed the bill into law, dismissed a case by the Bloggers Association of Kenya, the umbrella body that challenged the constitutionality of the act, leading the association to file an appeal. In the 5 grounds they outlined for determination, Justices Agri Muchalule, Patrick Kiage and Weldon Korir found all the other grounds of the appeal by the Bloggers umbrella without merit. alive to the risks posed to expression owing to politics and governance. The 3 judges of the Court of Appeal recommended in the course of the implementation of the Act, courts and other institutions of the state to pay attention to offence for which an interception order is sought, the period of interception, how data is examined, used, stored and protected from third parties, and provide for the eventual erasure or destruction of the digital evidence.
But now you know that the person who
A month after the Gen Z-led demonstrations in 2024, Wajir East lawmaker Adan Dawood introduced amendments to the 2018 Act, prompting public outcry. Petitioners, among them the Kenya Human Rights Commission, mounting legal challenge over the changes signed into law by President William Ruto in October 2025, terming them punitive and posing the risk of shrinking the country's democratic space. The ruling comes as a reprieve for Kenya's connected, urban and youthful population, whose governance discourse on social media spaces has seen them bearing the brunt of abductions and extrajudicial killings.
Hello? Bwana Yesu nakutamani sana.
Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
Tonight, another Kenyan, Samuel Ng'ang'a Mwangi, is missing. He disappeared on the 27th of February, and efforts to trace him have yielded no fruit. His family suspects Ng'ang'a could have been abducted for his criticism of the government on social media, where he advocates for accountability. As Franklin Wala reports, the 36-year-old accountant's wife is worried about the safety and whereabouts of her husband.
Ngecha in Kiambu County, home of Samuel Ng'ang'a Mwangi, a 36-year-old father of 2 who has been missing since the 27th of February. His wife, who is 8 months pregnant, struggles to explain the burden she has been dealing with since her husband disappeared.
Tuko na watoto wawili, mmoja ako 8 years, ako grade 2, mwingine ako na 3 years. Ako baby class na bado niko na mimba 8 months. So mimi nauliza serikali, kwa nini wamchukue mimi nikiwa na mimba kama saa hii? Namtaka sana kwa maisha yangu.
Samuel Ng'ang'a Mwangi works as an accountant at a company along Thika Road. On Friday, he left his home and proceeded to work. That was the last time the family saw him. In the course of the day, they had a brief conversation with the wife before calls and text messages went unanswered. Samuel did not return home. His phone subsequently went off after some time.
Mpaka wakazi wana confirm aliingia job, but kusign out mimi nimeuliza kama maybe ali sign out, hawajanijibu. ZTV hawataki kutupea.
we have made the HR manager, and they do confirm indeed that Samuel was at work on Friday, but they have not given us information what time he left the office.
The family reported the matter to police at Kingero police station.
Watoto wananiuliza alienda wapi, mimi nimeshindwa hadi kuwaambia kwenye alienda, juu pia mimi sijui. Nimepiga ripoti Kingero police station na nikaacha hadi picha huko, na bado mimi sijaona usaidizi wowote. Hakuna pale sijamtafuta hadi kwa sisi tumeenda na tutampata.
Ng'ang'a has been vocal on social media platforms and is a critic of the government and those in power. Ng'ang'a
Ng'ang'a recently questioned why prison officers pass out happened for the first time with no ceremonial dress but combat fatigue.
Anaandika vitu kwa Facebook akicriticize government. Mimi naona kama hizo vitu ndio zinamfanya awe abducted.
Vocal Africa and other human rights activists have taken up the matter as a suspected abduction.
We are appealing to the government, we are appealing to the police, and more specifically to the DCI to bring Samuel Ng'ang'a back. His wife is 8 months pregnant. Surely, how cruel can you be?
Police say an investigation is ongoing to unravel Ng'ang'a's disappearance. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
President William Ruto now says the government will purchase land in Angata Barikoi to settle